Our official tonight, Marcus Pettigrew is the crew chief, Eric Curry, Robert Felder. And the tip is won by Colorado. 4 freshmen in the starting lineup for the Buffaloes. What are you looking for offensively?
Well, executing against this zone. You know, Bobby Hurley showed this 2-3 zone against Utah for really the first time. They'd only played about 12 possessions all season and weren't very good at it. They don't practice it a lot, but it really stood Utah up. And I think to keep these 2 Colorado guards out of the paint, they start in that 2-3 zone.
There's an early block there by Masamba Diop. As we take a look at the starting lineup for Arizona State, we talked about Odom. It's Ford, Grubevich, Kemba, and Diop. This is the guy who leads the way in scoring for Arizona State as Odom is tripped, our first foul of the game.
You know, defense has been a struggle for both of these teams. And the other problem along with that defense is they don't rebound it well, which puts, again, a lot of pressure on that defense. In the case of Colorado, you know, because of how young they are, you mentioned the 4 freshmen, that's where you're going to suffer some inconsistency, is mostly on that defensive end.
Trying to go inside. Skip pass leads to a 3. Grubevich knocks it down. Arizona State on the board first.
That's what he does. 65% of his shots on the year are 3s. That one off of the bounce. 6'11", can really shoot it up over the top of the defender.
They have been starting 4, but go with 3 freshmen in the starting lineup tonight for Colorado. Hargress, the elder statesman, gives it up inside to Dak. Pick and roll, but Dak wasn't there on the roll, and a turnover.
And Makeba being really physical with Dak. You know, the other freshman who has started is Taco Afalo, another 7-footer. Both of those guys slight of build. And so there you see Makeba just not allowing that roll by Dak.
Odom, one of the assist leaders in the country, but he has shown that he can fill it up as well this season. Here's Ford, open from the wing. And rebound to Dak. Johnson, too strong. And the loose ball out of bounds off Arizona State.
Yeah, I think both these teams offensively, John, are really going to look to score early. You know, they both can really drought in the half court. They're both scoring about 15 points a game in transition. Arizona State in that first matchup against Colorado scored 35 points in transition. So, you know, if any opportunity, long rebound, neither of these teams force a lot of turnovers. And as we said, they've had a hard time getting stops, but anything in transition today is a huge boost.
Open from the wing is Johnson, and he rattles it home.
And that's the problem with the zone, is you have got to know where Hargress and Johnson are. They are so efficient from 3, and that's the problem with the zone. When you don't have a man responsibility, those guys can find open space.
Good by Holland. Forces that loose ball. Odom throws it up. The jam not there. Colorado now coming the other way. Hargress with some space, and he lays it in. Colorado, its first lead of the game.
And there's the speed. You know, a misplay on the other end, and Colorado is off and running. And because Odom was in the paint, the point guard, the defensive balance was off for Arizona State.
Here's Ford, a 3 attempt. No good. Dak another board.
Again, this is where Colorado scores easiest, and they have 2 guards who can really push, and they look for each other. Nice pitch ahead there from Johnson to Hargress.
3 ball, got it! Jalen Holland, the freshman from Los Lunas, New Mexico.
Now, Colorado shoots a good percentage from 3, but not on a high volume. They're only making about 7 a game. They made 11 threes in that blowout win over TCU here last Sunday.
Odom on the penetration, high off the window, over the outstretched arm of Dak.
He's got all the shots. You know, New York City guard, gets slight of build, only about 6'1", but he's got all the shots in the paint.
Dak now going one-on-one against Jop in close, and it's Jop with his second block of the game. Here's the other way, Ford. And Jop with the offensive rebound. Here's the skilled freshman you talked about. Gets the board plus the and one.
His offense has been the biggest surprise. I mean, his defense, you knew it was going to be good. But as Bobby Hurley was telling you and I earlier today, you know, sometimes you get these long bigs from Africa who are really raw. He's 7'1", 230 pounds, which you can't teach. But offensively, you know, sometimes hit or miss with how skilled they are. That's been the biggest surprise with Jop for Bob Hurley. You know, he's got really good hands, really good footwork, and he'll hit a face-up shot.
Jop from Senegal converts the three-point play.
And Arizona State will do this. You know, just a little nuisance, 2-2-1, three-quarter court, back into the 2-3 zone.
Pass is deflected. Anthony Pig Johnson can't convert. We welcome you to Boulder, Colorado, alongside Chris Spatola. I'm John Tripp, and we played just over 4 minutes. Colorado now taking a 10-8 lead. It was Arizona State getting on the board first. Colorado with some threes on an 8-0 run. And Chris, this is a big game. Both of these teams tied for 11th in a very stacked Big 12.
Yeah, I think trying to find some consistency. You know, Colorado, a really young roster, 5 freshmen in their top 8 players. And then Arizona State has really battled injuries. So played with 7 guys in their last game. They'll play with 8 here tonight.
Arizona State comes out. They've been using the zone to start this ball game. Off the bounce, Josiah Sanders gives it up. Harkless three. And Santiago Truitt missed the last game for Arizona State with an ankle injury, but on the floor was a game-time decision. He was not on the floor for their first matchup to start conference play against Colorado. Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Sun Devils. In the break zone, we will step aside from Boulder with Colorado an early 10-8. Officials went to the monitor, and the call was overturned.
Yeah, it's hard to tell there. Yeah, it's hard to tell from those 2 looks. They must have some sort of X-ray vision camera they have going on over there.
So it's Colorado with a 2-point lead. Kaylee on the floor with a size advantage, looking to post up the smaller Odo. Skip pass instead. Sebastian Ronchik with his first bucket, the sophomore from Slovakia off the bench.
And that's too easy. I mean, just a one skip pass over the top there, and Noah Meusen's got to make a better stand at the bottom of that zone.
It's Truitt. Gives it up, Meusen, his 3 attempt. That one halfway down comes out. Harkless known for his mid-range game. One guard decides to take a 3 and knocks it down. Colorado already with 3 threes to start this game.
He's also known for that. He's shooting 52% from 3. I mean, it is ridiculous the efficiency that Barrington Hargress, a 6'1" guard in the toughest league in the country, is playing with this year. 54% from the field, 52 from 3, and you're just late, you know, just late. And Colorado did a lot of executing against this 2-3 zone today. And because Arizona State doesn't play a lot of it, you can tell that sometimes they get a little bit confused with where they're supposed to be.
We've seen runs already, an 8-0 run by Colorado. The Buffaloes on a 7-0 run right now. Truitt cut off baseline, double teamed. The offensive rebound there by Meusen. Here's Odo. Rips the net from deep.
Well, and it's not a big-time offensive rebounding Arizona State team. 1-on-5. Noah Musin gets in there, keeps it alive, and then finds Odom from the corner. And he's gotten some clean looks to start this game. Their leading scorer.
Big screen set by Malone. Watch out. Hargress off 2 feet gets all the way to the rim.
Well, Colorado doing a nice job screening the top of the zone, and that's what's springing Hargress free to get to the middle there and create offense.
Johnson contested 3, and all of a sudden the shooting starting to pick up.
Well, one of the problems with Colorado's defense this year has been their ability to defend the 3. 9 teams this year have shot 50% or better from 3, 4 in the last 6. It has really, really hurt them, their ability to defend that 3-point line.
Collision for that rebound, no whistle as the officials let them play here tonight. Odom in transition. And another offensive rebound for the Sun Devils. Off is to Job, the no-looker. Pick Johnson, he is bumped by Malone.
Again, screen in the top of the zone, and then you got a guy who's really shifty, really crafty.
The Hurley family as well to the game of college basketball. Goes back to his playing days as one of the best point guards in the country at Duke.
Yeah, he is college basketball royalty. I mean, his family, but he is. Like, you cannot write the history of college basketball without mentioning Bobby Hurley. He's the all-time assist leader. He hasn't played in 33 years, still holds that record. 3 Final Fours, back-to-back national titles. He's the most outstanding player in that 1992 national championship. He's college basketball royalty.
We spoke to him today. It's always a pleasure talking to Bobby Hurley because he keeps it so real. He said, you know, it's been tough this season with the injuries, and when you play in a conference like the Big 12, wins are just tough to come by. We've got to be able to take advantage of a game like tonight.
Yeah, and I don't think his administration set him up for success, if I'm being frank. Like, to leave him as a lame duck. He's in the last year of his deal. They did not re-up it. And I think he's done a good job. I mean, it's his 11th season. And the fact of the matter is, this is a tough job, Arizona State. Like, since 1996, so 30 years, Arizona State has been to 6 NCAA tournaments. Hurley has taken them to 3, so half of them. And they would have made a 4th if the COVID, year was not wiped out. So to leave him with only a year left, like, how are you supposed to recruit? How are you supposed to go out and get players? And for somebody like, as we talked about how he's basketball royalty, I think he deserved better going into this last year. And look, we all work at the behest of our employers. If you didn't think he was good enough to keep him as your coach long-term, then part ways. But to say, we're not going to re-up you and leave you with 1 year left, I think was a tad unfair.
Drive spins out there by Johnson. He decided to go the international route to fill out his roster this season. That 3 off the mark, and Truitt from Argentina pulls down the rebound. Truitt is on a minutes restriction tonight, dealing with that ankle injury. Here he is with the ball in his hands. Going a 1-on-2. Too strong off the mark. Johnson put that one-leg runner. Isaiah Johnson, a freshman from Los Angeles.
He really is a marvel. They list him at 6'1". He's really probably 6 feet, 5'11", only 170 pounds. Really a dynamic scorer.
They left him in transition. The rebound to Arizona State.
And a good move there by Pig Johnson. That's the difference, too, between these two teams. Tad Boyle will play 9-10 guys. I mean, they're really deep. Arizona State, again, because of the injuries, only have 8 available here that will play.
I think about Wednesday night, they went on the road at Utah, picked up a win as 4 goals from deep. Arizona State won that game on Wednesday, playing just 7 guys due to injuries. In transition, and Sebastian Ronchik will be fouled and get to the free throw line as McCabe called for his first. Here's Tad Boyle in his 16th season as the head man at Colorado. He decided to shake some things up in conference play. They had lost 6 in a row, so 2 games ago, decided to shake up his starting lineup, inserted 4 freshmen. He said, I'm going to play the guys who bring the most energy, and he said it's been a different look for his team ever since.
They were the best they've been all year in that win over TCU. And a lot of it having to do with that move by Tad Boyle. You mentioned the effort, energy. They needed an infusion of that, and they got it from those young players. And then, of course, they went on the road right after that and lost badly to Baylor. And that's been the up and down that Tad was talking to us about today. When you are young, especially in this league, it is really hard to be consistent game to game.
These 2 teams squared off in the first game in conference play. It was won by Colorado at Arizona State. Coach Boyle actually decided to use a lot of zone in that game to confuse Arizona State. He said, different thing tonight. We're going to actually try to get up and down, play a little faster. Colorado with a 7-point lead. As Dak called for the personal, he's going to pick up his 3rd here in this first half.
Yeah, and it's a foul you don't have to commit. I mean, if Jop's going to take that shot from that logo over the top of your length, you can live with that. And Jop's a good free throw shooter. I mean, he's shooting 72%.
I apologize, they did not call that on Dak. They called it on Ron Sheik first.
From behind, and that's a play that Ron Sheik didn't need to make. But Masamba Diop, it played 37 minutes in that win over Utah. He had 15 and 8 in the game. He was 9 of 10 from the foul line.
9 minutes to play here in this first half. After the early lead by Arizona State, it has been controlled by Colorado. What have you thought of this zone by the Sun Devils we've seen from the start?
Yeah, I think there have been some vulnerabilities, and I think Colorado was much more prepared than Utah was to play against it. They're screening it differently, they're driving it, and then they're rebounding out of it.
On Sheik, whips down the net from 3.
He's going to be a really good player. 6'11", face-up player from Bratislava, Slovakia. But he played his high school ball in Southern California. Really versatile and skilled.
4 threes knocked down by Colorado tonight.
Get up.
Kick out. As McCabe was looking for fouls, he felt like he was held on that rebound. Sheik again. If you're Arizona State, how do you get into a better flow offensively here?
I think Bobby Hurley's been searching for that all year, man. You know, and a lot of it has to do with this guy with the ball going and creating something.
Odom can't finish at the rim. As Dak ahead of the pass, throws it down.
And that's the problem. When he drives it, Mo Odom on the other end, your defensive balance is all out of whack. And a really good look ahead. And how about Dak running the floor? A little pitch over the top. That's a long drink of water at the rim.
Inside Chris Patola, I'm John Trippin. It is the Buffalo's largest lead of the game, up 10. As Arizona State has gone cold from the floor. No field goals in almost 5 minutes.
Yeah, they're having a hard time scoring in the paint. Getting into the paint and then scoring at the basket. They're 2 of 10 from 2 in this game so far.
Oh, Odom leads this team in scoring. You can tell he's getting doubled. They want to get the ball out of his hands. Vivitch open from the wing. Short offensive rebound.
And that's the shot that's open. That backside 3 with them blitzing a ball screen with Odom.
Big Johnson gets all the way to the bucket.
And Colorado knew coming in, that ball screen in the middle third, they were going to blitz Mo Odom to get it out of his hands, like you said, John, but also because he's small. You can kind of bottle him up.
Hey, Holland with the alley-oop as Dak, maybe not the cleanest catch, but he gets it for 2.
And conversely, Colorado against this 2-3 zone is having whatever they want in the paint and at the rim.
Job with the screen. Here's Johnson from the corner, and that's a three. It's a little inside-outside game for Arizona State. Colorado has 9 assists on 11 made field goals to start this game. Allen throws it up, and Dak can't jam it. Allen, good pump fake, that contact, no whistle. Gee, everyone's like, what's going on?
Oh, there, too.
Inside, Dak. He finally finishes it off. The fans are getting on the officials here. Odom once again forced to get rid of it. Dak with the length of the steal. Hargress a 2-on-nothing. It is all Colorado early on.
With Odom, you've got to stay away from this sideline. You know they're blitzing it, and you add a third defender if you bring it over here to the sideline.
Little bully ball. And McCabe forced the officials to call that one.
Again, Colorado blitzing ball screens with Mo Odom. And look at the length. I mean, we just bottle him up there. Then got Dak. And a live ball turnover leading to the run out. Yeah, I mean, that's a foul, and it's the officials trying to gain control, I think, of this game. There's no question that was a foul on Josiah Sanders.
Well, this week's Big Monday doubleheader on ESPN starts with 24th-ranked Louisville hosting NC State at 7 Eastern. And it's the #1 team in the nation, Arizona, putting their undefeated season on the line at Allen Fieldhouse against 11th-ranked Kansas. Is that the biggest game of the season so far?
So far, man, you know, Fog Allen will be lit. And we know that, you know, Arizona's a wagon right now, just an absolute wagon. But I'll tell you what, Kansas, you know, it's been talked about Peterson playing more minutes, but Flory Badunga played as good a game today as maybe he's played all year. Those pieces around Peterson got a chance to play a lot of minutes and carry a load as Peterson's been in and out of the lineup, and I think we're starting to see the benefits.
Look forward to that big Monday matchup coming up. Here's Holland driving, floater left it short, and it goes out of bounds. Sun Devil basketball. Arizona State shooting under 30% here in this first half, but just down 10 within striking distance with under 5 minutes to play in this first half.
Well, because their defense has been taking the ball out of the net a lot, they haven't been able to get out and run.
Odom getting all the attention. A good recovery D by Colorado. Houston gives it up. Rivovich blocked. 5 on the shot clock for Arizona State. Here is Odom. Oh, man. That is that Bronx toughness.
And it's that bailout that Mo Odom has had to be all year for this Arizona State offense. Takes a lot of tough shots. It's one of the reasons he's below 40% from the field. Carried a heavy load this season offensively.
In close. And Sanders is going to be fouled.
You mentioned it, the Bronx. Got a little New York City, the concrete jungle in his game. Over the length of Ron.
All right, Kevin and crew, appreciate you guys. Welcome back here to Boulder, Colorado. Unseasonably warm temperatures, 60 degrees here in Boulder. I mean, everyone was out and about. Bad news for skiers, but coming inside, you see the game trends. Colorado plus 12 in the paint.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons they're shooting 52%. And Coach Keats made the point, like, Colorado's defense, they are jam-packed. They are blitzing Mo Odom, getting the ball out of his hands, and they are not allowing it in the paint. And so 15 of the 26 shots for Arizona State have been from 3. And, you know, they're not shooting well from there.
There's Johnson going one-on-one. Inside, had it rejected by Malone, but the second chance is there.
And that's been a big part of their offense, is second chance points. They've collected some offensive rebounds here and been able to finish.
13 second chance points for Arizona State. There's Holland, got away with that push-off. Dangerous pass, but it stays with Johnson. Now it's poked away, and Arizona State looking to run. The outlet is deflected, and here comes Holland. And a blocking foul called on Mausen.
Again, sometimes you got to manufacture stuff. It's not always going to be clean. Good block from behind there, and then Pitt Johnson just staying with it. You know, a guy who's a great story. You know, played at NAIA last year, averaged 23 points a game, was a scorer at that level. And I think he's been a real find for Bobby Hurley. He comes off the bench, but he plays starters minutes.
Approached 3 minutes to play in this first half. Largest lead for Colorado was 11 earlier. Johnson on 2 feet spin, had it rejected. Masamba Diop came into this game ranked 19th in the country with 48 blocks.
Yeah, he's top 50 nationally in block percentage. And first things first, you can't teach 7'1". You can't teach that height and length, but he's got very good shot blocking instincts. And he does it without foul. He has more blocks on the year than fouls.
Unbelievable. That's now 4 games in a row now where he has 3 blocks. Shot clock winding down, it's at 3. Hargrist gets it up and knocks it down. Colorado shooting over 50% from the floor here in this first half. Gets the ISO. Forced that one.
You could tell he wanted that right hand. He actually had an angle left as he continued to work it.
Foul on the drive, as Truitt will pick up his first personal foul.
You know, I think some of the success that Arizona State's 2-3 zone had against Utah was the element of surprise. Again, they had only played 12 possessions of zone going into that Utah game, and they got scored on over half of the time. And they haven't practiced it a lot. They just threw it out there because they only had 7 guys, but you could tell Colorado prepped it, and they had been ready.
What a pass from Sanders to find Ron Sheik, who knocks down the 3. And this is now the largest lead of the game. Colorado up 12. Odom runs through that double team as he is fouled.
And they're playing inside out, Colorado. You know, they're getting the ball 2 feet in the paint, collapsing that zone. And there's Ron Sheik. And again, the instincts in that zone, they just aren't there for Arizona State because they just haven't played it a lot.
So Bryce Ford goes to the line for the front end of a 1-and-1, averaging 17 points per game this season. And he hits the first. Well, we have a premier women's basketball matchup tomorrow on ABC. At 3 Eastern, 19th ranked Tennessee takes on 3rd ranked South Carolina with first place at stake in the SEC. You know, it's interesting, Mo Odom has been known as a passer his entire career, but his team has needed scoring, and he has upped his scoring this year with the Sun Devils.
Yeah, he was 4th in the nation last year in assists. Averaged over 7.5 assists a game at Pepperdine. He did score 30 against Portland in the WCC tournament, so it's in there.
Crashing the boards, and that was 2 Arizona State Sun Devils unable to corral it.
You know, it was interesting. We were talking to Bobby Hurley about having to play 2-3 zone. He said, look, my college coach, Coach K, and my dad would be disgusted with the amount of zone we've had to play in the last game and a half. But it's out of necessity.
Coach Hurley is searching for answers right now with about a month left in the regular season. Shot clock's at 6. Hargrist, crossover, mid-range. And A good board there by Josiah Sanders. The freshman from Denver, and he will draw the whistle.
And they're having a hard time now rebounding out of that 2-3 zone. Because you just don't have block-out responsibility, and so these guys on the perimeter are just getting a run to the offensive glass.
So 3 fresh bodies coming on the floor for Arizona State. To play here in this first half. On Sheik lowers his shoulder and forced it. And it'll stay with Colorado.
And again, Arizona State is last in the Big 12 in defensive rebounding. It just puts a ton of pressure on your defense if you can't finish the possession off a missed shot.
Johnson leads his team in scoring, the freshman from LA. Taylor, he's going to try to back down his man. Double comes, and he throws it away. Johnson does not have numbers, but he said, I'm taking it myself.
He is so fast in transition, so fast. And how about the in-out dribble at full speed to stay in that right hand and finish right? End to end, he makes a great defensive play. I mean, just a great read on the backside. Look at this. The interception takes it the other direction.
All right, take me through this, Chris, to end this first half.
Yeah, there's something there. To me, that's a dirty play. And, you know, he tries to be gracious about it, but that's a big shoulder that he just drove into Odom from behind. And he was moving while he did it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went F1 on that to start the half.
Marcus Pettigrew, Eric Curry, Robert Felder are currently talking this one over in an official review to end this first half. Your Colorado, you had momentum heading into the break, but this could potentially shift the momentum of this game. All right, let's get a different angle of this from up above the basket.
Yeah, that's unnecessary. I think that should be upgraded to an F1.
Especially since that's when clock expired.
Dude, in football, they call that targeting. So, I mean, guy gets thrown out of the game at a football game for something like that.
The officials are still discussing this one to determine what they want to do. There was no call on the floor.
Well, and they may be discussing the mechanics of it, because obviously you have a possession arrow. And of course, both teams have gone to the locker rooms. And the clock has not started yet for halftime because of this review.
I know you're not a fan of lengthy reviews, but this one a little different, right?
Thank you, John.
Time has expired,
yes.
so they can actually take their time here.
Thank you, John. And look, and honestly, I'm a fan of a review on a play like that.
All right, so we're just getting word from Marcus Pettigrew that it has been labeled a flagrant 1 on Malone of Colorado to end that first half. So the officials went to the monitor, took a look, deemed it unnecessary.
Yeah, so upgraded to an F1. They'll get 2 free throws, but the fouls will be assessed to the first half.
All right, you take a look at the clock. Time has expired, and he lowers the shoulder.
There's no question that should have been upgraded. And the officials did a good job of it.
All right, a little fireworks to end the first half here in Boulder. It is halftime. Let's send it to the studio. Kevin Connors, Malcolm Huckabee, Kevin Keats. Fellas, it's all yours. Look, tonight's game-changing pursuit brought to you by E-Trade from Morgan Stanley. We take a look at our first half summary, and it's going to be Arizona State shooting free throws to start this second half. That's because of the play we showed you to end the first half. Elijah Malone setting the screen on Mo Odom. That was called.
Against 50 Colorado. As a result, Arizona State will shoot two shots to begin the second half, and they will get the ball back, and the possession arrow will remain the same. That foul counts towards the first half team total, and we'll start the second half team totals at 0.
Well, we saw the mouthing of Elijah Malone. He said, soft as we can't finish that. Clearly, he didn't like the call.
First of all, that foul does not make him hard. And second of all, I mean, this could be a 4-point swing. This is a great way to start the half here, Arizona State. You get 2 free throws and the ball back. And it was a good call. I thought it should have been upgraded. We said that going to half. I don't think there's any question.
So Odom 1 of 2. If you're just joining us, let's take a look at how the first half ended. Arizona State misses the layup, and then bam! Odom gets caught with a screen from Malone as time expires.
Yeah, it's a dirty play. He's moving. He levels the shoulder, and it's like targeting in football. I mean, he lined him up. Mo Odom retreating, trying to get back on defense.
So 7-point game as we start this second half. Blocked at the rim. Then got Dak. Vargas left him open from the mid-range. He is lethal.
Again, screening the top of the zone. He comes off. There's nobody there to get a hand in his face. He is so efficient. And so low turnover. I mean, that's the other part of his efficiency. 37 assists, only 10 turnovers in conference play. He's been dynamite.
There's that double again. Odom has to get rid of it. Pitt Johnson did not start, but he starts this second half. And the 3 falls for Andrea Gribovich. Seeing a lot of scramble points and second chance points for Arizona State in that first half. Sanders at that free throw line as he is hooked and thrown to the deck.
That's the play. If you can't screen it, and here's the screen. You're just screening Mo Odom the top of the zone. Nobody there to contest. Chop doesn't want to come that far out. And then sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. You know, kind of a broken play, kicked out to Gribovich.
Sanders finding that soft spot in the zone, but it's Gribovich ripping it down.
And that's where Colorado's been able to get, right at that Big 12 logo, either by screening the top and driving it, or by throwing it in there like they just did.
Odom gets the double, drives past, but his big man wasn't ready for the roll. Job at the free throw line, showing the footwork, but left it short. Gribovich, he'll be fouled on the putback. Seen a little more urgency out of Arizona State here to start the second half.
Well, and when a guy hits a shot, I mean, this is time tested in the game of basketball. Gribovich hits the three on the last possession. You get a little juice, you get a little life. And then you get more hungry to score and you get on that offensive glass.
Makes the first. This week's Big Monday doubleheader on ESPN starts with 24th-ranked Louisville hosting NC State. That's at 7 Eastern. Then, how about this matchup? #1 team in the nation, Arizona, putting their undefeated season on the line on the road at Allen Fieldhouse against 11th-ranked Kansas. 1 versus 11 on Monday night. Gribovich 2 of 2 from the free throw line. And the lead is down to 4.
And that free throw line starting to become an asset for Arizona State, like it was against Utah. They took 25 free throws against Utah, made 22 of them.
Zay Johnson quiet in that first half, off with his first shot here in the second.
This pass
Out in front of the pack.
Wow.
And the and one for Alan McCabe.
You know, McCabe had his hand raised for about 3 Mississippis, and nobody on Colorado picked him up. I mean, his hand was raised as he ran down the floor, and what a find. Just beautiful touch over the top there. And that's one of the few scores in transition, early offense that we've seen Arizona have in this game.
You can see at 6'8", he's probably one of the most physically imposing players in that front line for Arizona State.
He's another guy. They list him at 6'8". He's really probably about 6'6", but he certainly plays a lot bigger. And when you're 240 pounds, you're gonna carve your space.
And we saw a shoot-around. He is carved.
Yes.
He decided not to wear a shirt at shoot-around, and if I looked like that, I wouldn't either.
I got a little uncomfortable, maybe in a good way. Guy was chiseled out of granite.
8-0 run here for the Sun Devils. Oh, there's the extra step. Colorado with a turnover.
You like the instinct there from Job, just kind of pulled the chair. You know, he's got the length, you don't necessarily have to body. And he just pulled the chair on McKaylee.
Last lead for the Sun Devils. They knocked down the first 3 of the game, led it 3-0. It's been all Colorado since. Gets the handoff. Step back, pull up, and Arizona State takes the lead.
How about the mid-range play we've seen tonight from Odom and Hargress and the ability to snake that off of that ball screen?
This is a 10-0 run we are looking at from the Sun Devils. There's the mid-range as Hargress answers. Colorado back on top. There's an urgency in the air tonight as both of these teams desperate for a win. Odom rips it down from deep.
It's a duel.
Odom's got the last 5 for Arizona State. And a foul inside as Malone was pushed out of bounds.
These guys are coming off a ball screen. So on the other end, it was Hargress, and there's just no help. I mean, Malone, you've got to be up at the level of the ball. They were blitzing it for most of that first half when Mo Odom was coming off of that ball screen. And that's probably why Elijah Malone comes out of the game. Just not capable of guarding Odom out of that.
Hargress falling away to his left, and he still rattles it home. We are tied at 45. We played just over 4 minutes here in the second half. And Johnson, the no-look to McCabe. And he reach-in foul called on Sanders. Refs are tightening this game up here in Colorado. We got a good one. Come on back.
To start this half. And so, you know, you mentioned a little more energy, a little more aggressiveness out of Arizona State, out of the locker room. I think that's manifested on the glass.
The inbound air ball. Colorado looking to run. Pass is intercepted by Pick Johnson. Dangerous pass the other way. Hargress is going to be called for the push.
And the other thing, too, with Colorado missing shots, now all of a sudden you can get out and run. And that's the other thing that we've seen Arizona State really do. And that's, you know, look, like you said, they're trying to clean this thing up a little bit.
Truitt gets to his right, missing everything. He has been hampered with an ankle injury. Missing the last game for Arizona State. Odom trying to fight over that screen, but a little too much contact, and called for his second personal.
And these are two guards who transferred up. Barrington Hargress transferring in from UC Riverside, was first team all Big West in that league last year, and Mo Odom played at Pepperdine last year. So two guys transferring up into the Big 12. They've had great years, and they are having their moment in this game here tonight. Going mano a mano.
I feel like Odom has figured something out. You go from Pepperdine to Arizona State, two of the most beautiful campuses in the country. Baseline, Johnson, pull up mid-range. Let's see if the freshman can get going here in the second half. Leads this team in scoring, almost 17 per game. Back down his man again. Too much contact from Sheik as he's called for his.
Truitt's got to stay in that corner. You know, he's not really a three-point shooter. And here's Johnson. Again, just slight of build, but really, really good with the ball. You know, his dad, Chris Johnson, a very famous, you know, individual trainer, trains a lot of guys in the NBA. So Isaiah Johnson's come up learning the game. He's been around a lot of big-time players. He's got a real maturity to him.
The fans are getting a little restless here. But Colorado has been very aggressive defensively as a foul has been called for his second personal now. Already 16 fouls on Colorado. The next one, and that's an offensive foul. As Mayusin called for the push-off.
It's great defense by Isaiah Johnson. Just being a pest, in denial. And if you're Mayusin, you've got to take him deeper. I mean, you're trying to get open there at half court.
Six minutes have gone by in the second half. Inman off the bench, no good. Mayusin with the handoff here to Odom. Odom going 1-on-3. How about that speed burst? Johnson cutting, free throw jumper. That's how you find that spot in the zone.
And he's coming from the weak side.
So Johnson up to 9 points on the night, 4 of 7 from the floor. Ford stepped on that baseline, turnover.
Transition has been big for Arizona State so far in this half. And it's because their defense are forcing misses. And then this guy in the open floor, shot out of a cannon. He is feeling it.
First time these two teams met, he had 24 points and 12 assists in the loss against Colorado. Johnson probing, push shot. Feels like he's starting to pick it up here in the second.
Again, screening the top of the zone. When he turns that corner, it's wide open. I mean, he's getting whatever shot you want at that Big 12 logo.
Johnson has scored the last 6 points for Colorado. Opening up a 4-point lead, but Odom with the corner 3 ball. Odom's up to 21 on the night. He's got 11 coming in this second half. Hargress, they left him. He said, thank you very much.
You just run that on a loop. Coming off a screen, snaking it, getting to the mid-range. And he's on balance, you know, just always up and down.
Here's Jop with a mid-range. He can knock that down. Masamba Jop, the 7'1" freshman from Senegal. Johnson motioning. He wants a little movement. Step back 3, hand in his face. Ronchik with the board and the putback.
Wow. It's a big-time rebound.
Second chance points for Colorado as Ford goes 1-on-2. I don't know how he finished that one off the window.
These teams are unconscious so far in this second half.
Johnson using the screen, draws the double, gets rid of it. Inman, pump fake, pulls, 3, in and out. Here comes Odom, you better stop ball. About this pace, just getting up and down, both teams. Johnson leads it, excuse me, it's Hargress. And the crowd here in Boulder is loving this effort tonight from Colorado. You can barely hear the whistle, but Jop is fouled as he goes to the deck.
Gotta catch our breath here. The efficiency from both sides. Mr. Efficient, Mo Odom, is cooking here tonight in Boulder, Colorado. And then Hargress says, okay, 7-footer, I'm going more open space, some cleaner looks. And then the zone just hasn't been able to stop Hargress. I mean, he's been able to come off and get into that mid-range and really find clean shots.
How about that smooth-looking stroke from Masamba Jop, 7'1". Grew up in Senegal when he was 16 years old, moved to Madrid to participate in Real Madrid's youth program. You can tell he is highly skilled and he can move his feet at his size. Jop will get a breather as Colorado brings it up the floor, up 1. Arizona State has been in this zone since the tip. Holland, pump fake, gets it, plus the foul.
And Colorado has played through the middle pretty much since the tip. This is a heck of a move by Jalen Holland. And when he has the ball, something is going to happen. And a lot of times it's good. Sometimes it's, you know, there are always errors of commission if they are errors, but something is going to happen. He is in there to make a play.
He was part of that crew that Tad Boyle decided to start as a freshman 2 games ago. And ever since that move happened, Colorado has looked like a different squad. Now, Ronchik believes that it went off Arizona State, and Coach Boyle says, I want to challenge that call.
And he's going strictly off Ronchik's word. A lot of pressure on Ronchik here. Because, you know, 4-point game, these timeouts, you know, this stays locked like this. These timeouts become important, and having a challenge would be important.
Colorado's decided to challenge the out-of-bounds call.
All right, so the call on the floor is off Colorado, but let's take a look as we head to break here. Ooh.
I don't know.
The challenge by Colorado was successful. It will be White's ball. That was their second challenge of the game. They retained their timeout, but they have no more challenges left for the rest of the game.
So here's another look off the fingertips of Gribovich, and the call is overturned. How about the trust by Coach Boyle? Didn't even have a look at it, just saw his guy wave at it, motion for a challenge, and he says, all right, I trust you. Under 10 minutes to play here in the second half. 4-point lead for Colorado.
Man-to-man. First show of man-to-man by Arizona State.
And Mayusin, the reach-in foul, called for his third.
And I think the reason you do that, one, it's out of a timeout, but two, they are getting their butts kicked in the paint. Colorado has dominated in the paint by getting the ball to the middle of that zone.
You know, there was a little subtle thing that happened at the end of that play. Mayusin, unhappy with that call, placed the ball on the court instead of giving it to the official. His teammate Mo Odom came up to him and said, don't you ever do that again. You give the ball back to the official. He is showing leadership out here as Odom challenges that three off the mark, but a foul on the rebound. It's going to go against Arizona State.
Good job, Ron Sheik.
So Mayusin unhappy instead of getting the ball back, but take a look at his teammate Odom. Correct that and say, that's not how we do it here at Arizona State. Apologizes to the ref, and then goes over to his teammate and says, make sure that doesn't happen again.
He's a good dude, man, Mo Odom. I mean, he's just, you know, really unselfish with his talk, with his leadership, with his giving. And he's a heck of a player.
Especially when that comes from your best player, that sets the tone. Hargrave, strong take, and he's going to draw the whistle. So Pig Johnson tagged for his first personal. As Barrington Hargrave already with 21 points on the night. His first free throw coming up. So we have a premier women's basketball matchup tomorrow on ABC. At 3 Eastern, 19th ranked Tennessee takes on 3rd ranked South Carolina with first place at stake in the SEC. Hargrave ties his season high. He's got 23 points tonight. But keeping his dribble alive, goes around that, but misses at the rim.
Again, just pulling the chair. He was trying to initiate contact there and lost his balance. And how about Ron Sheik, man? He's winning challenges. He's on the offensive glass, and there he is in transition. What a job by Sebastian Ron Sheik.
Colorado with all the momentum right now.
Ron Sheik's been on a little mini run since he won that challenge for his team. Look at 6'11", handling the transition, and not much of a stand there from Arizona State.
Well, Sebastian Sheik has all 14 bench points for Colorado tonight, as the Buffaloes currently on a 7-0 run, opening up an 8-point lead.
This ball's got to go to Mo Odom here. hasn't gotten a shot in the last few minutes, and they're starting to lose touch with this game.
Here comes Odom curling off the screen. He attracts two, gets rid of it. Three ball pulled short and out of bounds. Colorado ball.
A nice job by Dak staying with Odom off of that dribble handoff, forcing Odom to have to make a tough pass. That's where these other guys, you know, Odom's going to have the ball. These other guys, you got to step in and make a shot.
Colorado trying to put some pressure. Dak couldn't handle it above the rim. Now here comes Odom, but the pass too deep out of bounds.
And just a missed opportunity there because you get the missed alley-oop on one end, just mishandled. And then Johnson throws this long, and it was like a lacrosse ball. It just kind of made one of those skitters off on the floor.
A lacrosse reference tonight. Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I got it. I got it.
It's a deep cut right there. Oh, my God.
Johnson, pull up. Oh. And Mayusa as Johnson's breaking out. Odom finds a big man underneath, and the slam is there for John.
And that's what I'm talking. You got to be available. When Odom's got the ball, he's going to draw eyes and attention. You got to be a willing scorer and a willing receiver off of it.
Off the mark as Chop with the board. Sun Devils with a stop, a chance to cut into this 6-point lead. Here's Odom through contact, and he'll be fouled on the floor by Holland.
Mo Odom's going to find you if you're open. Nice job showing hands, calling the ball, wanting the ball, and then finishing.
Racism, and he is certainly one of the trailblazers here at Colorado. Billy Lewis celebrating Black History Month.
Good for Mo Odom to see something go in there. His last field goal came at 12:40, and he's only taken one shot since, and he's 0 for 1. So, look, down the stretch, these last 7 minutes, they need Mo Odom to carry their offense.
Knocks down the free throws. Colorado shooting 50% from the floor. When that percentage holds, the Buffaloes are 6-2 on the season. The wing off the mark. Chop affected that one. Rebound to Truitt.
Another offensive rebound for Ron Cheek. I mean, we're going to have two different players before he won the challenge and after Ron Cheek won the challenge.
I don't know if that shows up in the stat sheet, but we can mark it. Job pass is picked off, but Sanders couldn't corral. 9 on the shot clock for Arizona State.
Josiah Sanders just plays so hard. Yeah, just plays with such a motor. He's from Denver, played at Colorado Prep. His sister Jasmine and brother Isaiah both went to Air Force, a lesser service academy for those who went to Army.
You're going to see that tonight. Wow. It's Ron Sheik from the corner. There's Dak showing off the handles.
Tell you what, these two long dudes have a world of potential.
Job off that highlight slam. Handoff Odom off the mark. Ron Cheek with the board. Coming back with some pace is Colorado. Ron Cheek, he's starting to feel it. He's starting to feel it. Odom splits the D. Johnson challenging the big man, and he will draw the whistle. If that is Dak, that is his fourth.
It was Ron Cheek. This is, of course, after winning the challenge. What a player. And then how about this on the inbound? Oh, my goodness. I don't even think he hit the rim on that. Design play, and you're just too small to defend that. What a dunk.
You said he had the highest upside of any of the Arizona State players. And
anybody on this floor, anybody in this arena, he's got the highest upside for sure.
Anthony Pig Johnson knocks down the first free throw. Got the nickname Pig as a young man growing up in Alabama. If you grow up in Alabama naturally, you're going to play football at some point. Was playing football a lot on the outside, got dirty, came home, and his family was like, man, you look like a pig. They said it in a loving way, and that nickname has stuck with him ever since because he's one of those guys who just gets dirty. Second one is good.
Free throws there.
A game like this just shows you how deep the Big 12 is this season.
Sticking with the man-to-man.
On Cheek. Knocked out of bounds.
It's a smaller lineup for Colorado out there, so it looks like that Arizona State in the man is just switching 1 through 5. Because Jop ended up on the guard there and Mayusin on Ron Cheek, who is playing the 5.
Sanders off the bounce. And a jump ball. Possession hour goes to Arizona State.
It's a great play by McCabe. It's a great play. Yeah, I mean, he ties that thing up.
Under 5 minutes to play here in regulation. There's Odom trying to outrun the defense. Mayusin had it knocked out of bounds.
Everything's crowded to this right side as Odom's coming over, so there's nobody to throw back to on the left side of the floor. There's no shake. There's nobody coming from behind. Jop was there, but you don't want to throw it to him that far away from the basket.
Odom goes to the left side. This nice touch pass to Jop. How about that look from McCabe?
And what a cut down the middle of the lane by Jop. Really good big-to-big passing.
Hargrave step back mid-range. Rolls off the rim. Battle for the rebound is won by Colorado. And it'll be Odom committing the reach-in.
The ball's there. You've got to grab it. I mean, Jop had it in his hands.
Not sure what the fans are mad about, but the refs called a foul on that one. Or maybe they didn't. No foul called. They did not call it, actually. Left-hand finish, Isaiah Johnson.
Would not be denied. Played through the excellent defense of Pig Johnson and then finished over length.
McCabe underneath. Uses that offhand, and they're going to call that an offensive foul.
There's this defense. I mean, this is excellent defense, better offense. plays through the contact and right over the top. And then how about this, speaking of length? Just caught a dead body on Barrington Hargress.
For Arizona State.
Yeah, both these guys have been so under control and they've been so efficient. I mean, and for Odom, it's 23 points on 11 shots. And then for Barrington Hargress, 23 points on 14 shots. He's 10 of 14 from the field. A lot of that damage coming in the mid-range. Just finding his spot at that Big 12 logo there in transition. Just two dynamic scorers who have had a great night.
And both efficient from the floor, coming to 23 points on the night. A 5-point lead for Colorado, just over 3.5 to play. As the freshman Johnson will be held on that inbound.
It's tough, man. I mean, I understand wanting to pick up, but you cannot commit a foul there.
So now that is, in fact, the third personal on Odom.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know Mo Odom maybe has a gripe, but it's too close to call, and you cannot commit a foul there. 94 feet from your basket, and let Isaiah Johnson come down to take 2 free throws. He's an 83% free throw shooter.
Passing the first from the line. Colorado knew he was good, but he was under-recruited coming out of high school. Really stepped on the scene this summer when they went on to a trip to Australia and emerged as one of the leaders on this team. 2 at the free throw line. Job sets the screen. Odom finds the big man underneath. Double, it doesn't matter as he finishes off the window.
Well, and a really good job by Odom throwing it high. Just throw it up high, he'll go get it, and then really good poise. Using that dribble to gain his balance and then going right up.
Second leading scorer for Arizona State tonight. Job's got 17. Getting on the deck for the steal. That's Pig Johnson, and they give him the timeout. What a play. Well, we said he likes to get dirty. He got on the deck for that one.
You said it. And look, he can score, but this is what he does best. He is their best perimeter defender, and this is a heck of an individual defensive play. I mean, just stretching out, presence of mind to call the timeout while he's on the ground. And look, Colorado has to identify Arizona State is switching 1 through 5. So Isaiah Johnson ends up with Masamba Diop on him.
You know, when we spoke to Bobby Hurley at shoot-around today, he said one of the things he really wanted to highlight about this team, he said, through all the ups and downs, all the injuries, he's been so proud of the effort and the fight consistently he has seen out of this team. He said, if we can rattle together some wins, we still have a chance to finish off this season strong.
Yeah, that's why I think Bobby's done a good job. I mean, they've had a lot of bad luck this year with injuries, and this team has. They continue to fight.
Odom surveys the scene. Job far from the basket with 10 on the shot clock. Double team comes up over the top. Grimovich to follow. And it's out of bounds. Colorado ball. As Arizona State wondering, do they want to challenge? And the assistants on the bench.
Yeah, they got the guy with the iPad sitting right there. Doesn't look like it's definitive to the iPad guy. Where's Ron Cheek? What does Ron Cheek think?
So we play on. Hargress trapped. And Johnson comes out of the pack. Holland pass inside, and Derek finishes.
Nice decision by Holland. You come to that jump stop, play off of 2 feet. Chop comes over, and you drop it off to Dak.
Dak now in double figures. He's got 10. Fourth Colorado Buffalo in double figures tonight. Odom trying to turn that corner. Grimovich, three, short, and tipped out by Dak to Holland.
Just got to be patient here. If you're Colorado, work this clock, work the possession, and you're in the bonus.
Shot clock's at 7. Trying to get it to Hargress. He's hounded by Odom. Deep three. And out of bounds. It's Arizona State ball. All right, Sun Devils. You're down 6 here. Where are you going this possession?
Well, it's obviously Mo Odom. You got to work quickly, though. Like, you're in this point now where you got to... He's got to catch, get into a run here. You know, maybe you run chop up here. You get him off a screen. And these other guys got to step in and hit a shot. I mean, Odom found Grimovich on the last possession. You got to step in with confidence and shoot it, because Colorado's getting the ball out of his hands.
Here's that screen. Odom, a deep one, short. Grimovich trying to corral it. Bodies on the floor. Colorado ball.
It's not a great look by Odom.
And a timeout, Colorado. Up 6 with 1:02 to play.
It's kind of a panic shot. You know, again, you got to work quickly, but you come up with something better.
If you're Coach Boyle calling that timeout, wanting to secure the win.
But you do have to secure a defensive rebound.
Under a minute to play. There goes Johnson, turns the corner, and with the throwdown.
There's so much for holding the ball. Johnson went quickly, and what a follow-up by Dak.
Here goes Odom, splitting the D, finds Jop on the dump-off. But ball on the deck, and look who's down there with him. Ron Sheik with the tie-up, and it's Colorado ball.
It wasn't. He was following up the play is what he was doing, and what a pass. I mean, what a play by Isaiah Johnson, and the help just came over late for Arizona State.
For the Sun Devils, how much time can you go for the steal here?
A few seconds, and then you've got a foul.
Well, didn't even get the ball in as Odom called for the hold there. So the 4th personal foul on Mo Odom. As this one will be decided at the free throw line with the freshman Isaiah Johnson going to the charity stripe. First one comes out as Johnson is 1 for 3 from the line tonight.
Yeah, he's an 83% free throw shooter, and this is when guards got to make free throws. End of game.
Odom brings it up the floor. Sun Devils need a quick one. Double team, patched off the Jop, lays it in, and a timeout Arizona State. This one's not done just yet. A 7-point game as the Sun Devils want to set up their head coach.
And you can run the baseline here if you're Ron Sheik.
Arizona State going for the steal. Now they've got to commit a foul as Johnson dribbling it. And the other Johnson, Pig Johnson, will call for the reach-in.
You know, this is where, too, like, there's just not a lot of separation for Tad Boyle in terms of, you know, 1 through 9, or really 3 through 9. You know Isaiah Johnson's your guy, Barrington Hardgrass, but the rest of these guys, it's sort of who's playing well. Like tonight, it was Sebastian Ronchi, who came in and had his moment and played really, really well.
Johnson 1 of 2 from the line, an 8-point game as Odom brings it up. Shot clock turned off. 22 seconds to play. Odom, drive, missing the lay-in. And Colorado, a chance to dribble this one out. A hard-fought game at home as the Buffaloes will pull off an 8-point win over Arizona State. This one was back and forth, but it is Colorado holding on for a 78-70 win over Arizona State.
What a battle between the two guards, and what a win. These are the ones when you're at home playing against a team with an identical league record, you got to get.
Ever since Coach Boyle shifted to the freshman lineup, this team is 2-1 on the season. Colorado may have just figured something out with a month left in the regular season. For my partner Chris Patola and all the outstanding crew here for ESPN, I'm John Schriffen. Thanks for joining us. Now we send you to the West Coast for San Francisco and St. Mary's. Chris, Gerard, guys, it is all yours.